Hello, Cancer. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Grand Lux by Ciro Marchetti. There's websites if you want to find Ciro's stuff. usgamesinc.com. Freeze frame there if you want to see that information. A couple weeks ago I screwed it up, so that's why I'm glad I put the address on there. Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish. Illustrated by Jesse Reish. That's on the back here. It's a Hay House product, you can see over here. It's an older box. I don't think we had... It's 2002. If you go to your favorite search engine, you look up hayhouse.com or Hay House, you should find their stuff very easily. Lucy Cavendish, I think, is very active still, so if you look up her, you'll probably find the easiest connection, if you are interested. What do we have for Cancer? Ooh. One more. Ooh. Well, okay, let's get the cards down before let's get the cards down. Something like really good around you. Are you going to be included in this? Something really good. Coming through friends. Somebody else let go. Okay. Three of Cups with the let go. The let go is a tricky card in this one. Because the way it kind of looked like this to me, like the bird was flying in. As if somebody else let go of something. And I think this is good. I think this is really good for you. For a lot of you, I feel like it's something like, it doesn't have to be, well, it's a lot of you have a business connection. I feel that. So I'm kind of like, I'm getting two stories at once here. So of the first two, I got like maybe there's a relative or a friend that their connection with someone else is ending. And when that connection ends, they come back towards you because they let go of something else that was toxic. Also, I'm getting, for if it's not that, for some others of you, it's a business connection. And it's kind of like somebody's letting something go that wasn't working, and it's opening a lot of doors for you. When I feel this, I feel like it's timing. I don't think you really did anything to make this let go. I think it was just time for it to let go. And doors are opening for you because of it. It's like either socially or it could be financially. Doors are opening because somebody else let something go. Somebody else got out of the way, basically, is kind of what I'm getting. Now, is there some bad blood? No. What is the issue? You've got the Nine of Coins. This doesn't entail some change. There is some mystery, there is some change going on here. It's going to take you a minute to really soak it in and be like, is this good? I mean, is this really good? Should I do this? Should I be a part of this? You're just a little bit skeptical going into it. You're cautious. I think that's smart. I don't think that's bad. I don't see why that would be bad. Because I feel like you're just kind of like stepping back and kind of like, doors are opening for me now. Things are better for me now. Are we sure I can trust this? Can I really though? Like, can I really though? I feel like you're just cautious and you're kind of just holding back and waiting. Kind of like, let's let the dust settle just a little bit, just to be sure. I'm just going to let the dust kind of really settle on this, just so I'm like... Because I feel like you're not really believing in it at first. Whatever this option is, there's an opportunity. It's right there for you. But I think you're having a very smart response to it. Because the moon is there with the sun. Which kind of talks about an eclipse energy. I don't know if there's any eclipse coming. Like moon eclipse or whatever. But... I just feel like I have to wait for the dust to settle. It feels really good, it looks really good, there is some mystery here, but the Moon card is compatible to Cancer energy. In the tarot, it usually talks about Pisces. In astrology, the moon usually connects to Cancer. I think it's the ruler of Cancer, I think so anyway. My brain's like not quite on board today. The intuitive side is, but I don't know about the analytical side. It's very alluring. When you're seeing this, I feel like you're looking at it like, oh, I'd like that to be true. But, you know, well, we'll see. You're not against it, but you're like, I don't know if I can believe in it just yet. Whatever the situation is, does have a history of unwanted attachments. Unwanted attachments. So it's almost like when, you're taking your kids to a baseball game and they convince you to let them bring their friends along, and their friends are kind of troublemakers. But you let them come, and you're like, that's kind of like the unwanted attachment, kind of like, I'm responsible for my kids and the ones we're bringing, and the ones we're bringing are actually a handful, and it's kind of like that. So whatever the situation is, there's unwanted attachments. There's unwanted attachments. That's also, I feel like, why you're holding back. You're kind of like, do I have to have that part? And if I do, can I work around it? Is it that big of a deal? A lot of times in business, especially going into corporate situations, you start a job and everybody's perfect, right? Good luck with that. But, and then after 3 or 4 months of working there, you're like, oh boy. Like, yeah, okay. You're either going to understand what I mean or you're not. If you don't, just let it go. Don't worry about it. As we keep moving forward, though, there's a new option coming in. The Eight of Cups is very interesting. This is a very interesting because there's cups knocked over here. There's only 2 of them. There's a transition going on here. There's a transition for Pisces too. That's interesting. And I noticed Pisces popped in here too. So I don't know if that reading would also help you, but if you connect with Pisces energy, maybe it would be interesting to watch too for you if that adds into your story. Because they had transitions too, I'm noticing. These transitions, I don't feel like anything, I don't think you're losing anything. It's almost like living in the same house but changing what room is yours. Like if you're used to being on the 2nd floor up in the northeast corner, and you're like, you know what? I would like to be downstairs closer to the living room because that's where most people are and I can keep a better eye on things. So I'm going to move my room downstairs. I'm going to trade off with somebody else, or maybe there's a den downstairs, or maybe there's like a guest room downstairs. You're like, I'm going to switch my room with that guest room, and the guest room can be upstairs now. You're still in the same location, but you have a different connection, because like sleeping on the 1st floor near like the main living room versus the 2nd floor away from everything at night, it's a much different experience. And some people actually like to be more connected and hear what's going on, and they like to be aware of what's going on so they can keep an eye on things. Other people want to be completely far away from it. But the thing is, it's changing your connection, but you're not losing anything. It's kind of like, if I really want to, I can transition back to where I was. And I feel like I do have that option to go back to where I was if I decide I want to. There's something coming in. There's more coming in. There's success, the Sun card. I'm getting like 7 and 8 too. This is the 6 of Wands, but I keep getting 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. So the 7, 8, the 7 of Wands is overcoming negativity, just basic meaning. 8 of Wands is usually speed. That's my basic meaning for that one anyway. Sometimes it talks about travel. True. keep getting 7-8, 7-8, 7-8. Like, things are going to change quickly, overcoming any problems, and that's what your success is. But I almost feel like when I keep getting this 7-8, 7-8, 7-8 feel, it feels like other people might be overcoming these problems and moving on very quickly. And I feel like people are very happy to have you around. Very, very happy to have you around. They're very comfortable with you. This energy is critical. This energy does seem to see your value and loyalty, but it's critical. There's fertility here. This is another piece of this. It's good. Yeah, I think this energy, this is a part of this. It's good for you, but I do feel like it's also a little uncomfortable because it does feel like it's critical. But it will honor your values when it comes to loyalty. It just feels like it's critical, kind of like, it calls out stuff really quick. Very direct. The Emperor is very direct. This is a good energy. I feel like the whole point of like highlighting this is to be aware of it. Don't get comfortable with this energy. Just like always, like this reminds me of like when you go to grandma's house when you're little, and at least when I was little, it was kind of like mind your P's and Q's. If I remember that coming across a lot, like keep yourself together. Don't act up at grandma's. It won't go well. Don't do it. Grandma won't have it. My grandmother was very smart, very, very smart. Well, she was very smart, but she was also very strong. So if you stepped out of line, you wouldn't get very far before she, snapped that into focus. So it's kind of like mind your P's and Q's. This is that energy. I don't know. So because I know everybody has different experiences with family. That was my experience. Like, when grandma says, you just do it. Just don't start. Just do what she wants, and it's better. Grandma's very smart. Grandma's very strong. Don't give grandma a hard time. You won't like it. The reason I'm equating that here is kind of like, do realize that this energy does like you, but just keep it very, straight-laced in front of this person. Don't get too comfortable. That's the best advice, especially because I think it's going to be different for all of you. They're just saying, just don't get comfortable. This energy does like you, but, keep it, very, keep the boundaries. Adhere to the boundaries, realize the boundaries, keep the boundaries. The boundaries serve you and them very well. Because you've got a lot changing, a lot of good things coming in. I think this is the last piece that's coming in for this. Don't ask too much. Okay. This is an action card. You know what to do in this situation. Don't ask too much. Just do it. Just do it. Just do what you need to do. Don't ask too much. Just do it. And then you got the 7 of Pentacles with the health. It works out better that way. Especially with that energy, what I'm getting is, you know what to do. Just do it in good faith and just move forward. Don't ask too many questions. Do what you believe is right. That Emperor will treat you better because of it. If you just kind of like, if you're looking at a situation, you're like, I think this is how that should go. As long as you don't see like major fallout going on from there, kind of like, you're smart. You wouldn't do anything. Like if, for example, if you're picking up kids from school and you were supposed to pick up your kid and one other, and they're like, well, this third one wants to come with me too. It would be like, okay, well, what's your parents' phone number? Who usually picks you up? Like, so I can contact them, or at least so I can at least make sure it's okay with them before I bring you with us. Like that I would ask. But like, if you're kind of like, I don't know, that would be like, that would make sense why you're double checking with them, but I wouldn't go overboard and go and ask the school if it was okay. If that makes sense. I don't know. Because I feel like that's a weird way to put that. That's an interesting example. because you wouldn't just, like, that would be a bad idea. But on the reverse side, for example, if you were at a soccer game and, you know, somebody came up to you and asked you, you know, if you would be willing to help out with, like, the refreshments and stuff, I wouldn't double check with the person in charge if they're okay with that. I would just go do it. Just don't even ask. Just do it. That way, if they didn't want that, like, don't, like, they're kind of like, let's go get some refreshments, and that you just, and you're like looking at 5 different things. You just pick out the 2 best things you think are the best things, whatever you think is best. Oranges, and we'll do this water, and that's what we'll do. So we'll do that. So you just make your decision. If the person in charge doesn't agree, like the emperor doesn't agree, they'll tell you, but it won't be bad. But if you say, oh, wait a minute, let me see what the emperor wants, they're going to get annoyed with you for asking you what they wanted. So I think that makes sense. Let me just reiterate real quick just to make sure I got that right. So, like, for example, picking up somebody else's child from school, you would definitely double check with the parent to make sure that's okay, especially if you didn't know this kid, just so they would know where this kid was and make sure that that's okay. But for example, if you're at, like, a like a soccer game, and somebody asks you to go get some refreshments, go and get what you think is right and just make it work that way. That works out better than you asking the person in charge, what would you like me to get? They will get annoyed with you for asking because they're busy with other things. If you just get what you think is best, they'll tell you after if they agreed or if they didn't and what they would have preferred, but they'll only say something if it matters afterward. So if you move ahead on your own, the whole situation goes better for you and for them. So, like, there's the difference. So, like, you know, just look at the outcome. Like, if you get the wrong refreshments, nobody's going to die. So let's just do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Just keep going. But if you pick some kid up from school and their parent never realizes that they were going to get a ride instead of, like, the parents looking for their kid, that could be a bad thing. You know the difference. But that, you know, when you can move forward quickly. Don't ask. And then if there's a problem, the emperor will tell you afterwards. A lot of things are transitioning forward. Doors are opening. This is good. I think we're done. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.